welcome to Sports Fan Entertainment. It's time for another 2017 NFL Draft Scouting Report, and today we are talking about running back Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford. And man, I really like me some Christian McCaffrey, and I liked him before the Combine, but then he went to the Combine, he blew it up, and I firmly believe that this guy is worthy of a top 20 pick in this 2017 NFL Draft, and it appears as if NFL teams are starting to catch up on that fact. So I have him listed as 6'2", 200, but I made this picture before the Combine. He was officially measured at 5'11", 203, so not too far away. And I initially projected his 40 time at 4.49. He ran at 4.48, so I was damn close, but he was just a little bit faster than even I thought he was. And look at that production in 2016, 1,600 rushing yards, and this was despite an injury that he had throughout a good part of the season. We look at his strengths. Number one, his receiving ability. Wow, I think he's the best receiving back I've ever seen coming out of college, and I'm not sure if anyone has ever seen a better receiving back than Christian McCaffrey, a guy who can legitimately go out to the slot and be one of the best slot wide receivers in the NFL in any given play, any given game. I mean, this guy is so dangerous in the open field, running routes, out of the backfield, running flats or screens, in the slot, running whatever. He's so dangerous. He's so good. He looked like one of the top wide receivers out there during the running back receiving drills. This guy is fantastic when it comes to catching the ball out of the backfield. And when you hear a lot of people expressing concern about McCaffrey being a 3-down back, hello, most NFL teams do what on third down? Throw the football. Now you have a guy who's dangerous as hell on third down. Love his receiving ability. How about his vision and patience? He has really good vision and really good patience, man. I mean, this is a guy who's willing to sit back and wait for a hole to develop. And as we look at one of the big concerns for this guy eventually, mainly people are concerned that if it comes to a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, will he be able to get that 1 yard when it's tough to get? But one thing that I saw him do was, he would let things develop initially, even for that 3rd or 4th and 1, and then hit a hole when he needs to accelerate, burst through that hole, and get the first down, because he's just so good and so potent when it comes to reading the offensive line, reading the defense, and knowing where to go, having a feel for the game, and knowing at all times pretty much which hole is best for him to hit. He has great vision and patience. How about ball security? Great ball security throughout his time at Stanford. I want to say either 2 or 3 fumble loss that he had. I want to say 3, but either way, he has fantastic ball security. He doesn't lose the football. Even as a receiver or a running back, doesn't matter. He doesn't lose it, and I love that. And then how about his intangibles? This is a guy that the football players at Stanford, the coaches at Stanford, they loved him. They played for him. He was one of the most vocal players in the locker room. They loved playing for and with Christian McCaffrey, so I like having that aspect as well, even in a running back. We look at his weaknesses. Okay, his size. So he's 5'11", 203, and that is not great size. I think he was by far one of the lowest pounds or one of the lowest weights of NFL running backs at the Combine. I mean, that is concerning there, definitely, especially then when you look at his strength as well. Let's go there. Only 10 bench press reps of 225 pounds, and somehow I saw a TMZ video of him with his shirt off, and let me tell you, his chest is pretty weak. He's gonna have to put on some poundage if he's gonna be able to take the beating some of these NFL linebackers and defensive linemen can dish out. But again, when I saw this guy and I turn on the film and I see the vision and patience that he has, I mean, this is a guy that can hit holes and hit them well again. So even though this does concern me on a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, I think he can still get those because he just has such good vision and patience. My question there is, okay, he can get those, but how long will he last in the NFL? Will he be able to sustain a 16-game season? He was pretty healthy throughout college. I mean, definitely. I mean, his last year, again, he missed some games. He was injured throughout a good part of the season, but I mean, he was still pretty healthy throughout his college career. So I'm a little concerned about it, but not too much. And then his pass protection. Now, his pass protection is pretty awful. He's not developed in that area at all. He needs to develop that part of his game. So that's my number one concern with him, especially when you look at all of these NFL coaches. They're very hesitant to put in running backs that are not very good pass protectors early on. So you could see him take a while to finally get on the field, but when he does, he will be dangerous. When we look at a pro comparison, there was not one comparison that I really fell in love with. I went with Tiki, Barber, and Reggie Bush. Now, Reggie Bush was a lot faster than Christian McCaffrey, so let's just say that right now. But when you look at the receiving ability and how dangerous Reggie Bush was out of the backfield, I like that comparison. And Tiki Barber, the same thing. I also considered a little bit of Duke Johnson from the Cleveland Browns, and also a little bit of Le'Veon Bell in terms of just being a guy that's so patient out of the backfield. So there's a lot of comparisons that we could use here. And I even liked Julian Edelman in terms of his slot receiving ability. I mean, I even saw just great ability in the slot. Again, I think he's really good just as a receiver on his own. So the pro comparison wasn't great. I couldn't find a perfect one, but this is what I went with. Let's move on to his best fits. How about the Philadelphia Eagles? At number 14, they had Darren Sproles there last season, and they still do. They have him under contract, but I think this would be a nice upgrade over Sproles and Ryan Matthews. I mean, this is a guy that can catch balls out of the backfield, and since Doug Peterson loves to run a bunch of running back screens and a bunch of passes to running backs, who better than Christian McCaffrey? Look at the New England Patriots. We know what they do with James White and Deion Lewis. He would fit right into that. How about the Oakland Raiders? Now, the Raiders, they do a good amount of stuff when it comes to receiving backs. I mean, we saw Jalen Richard and Jameis Olawale catch a bunch of passes out of the backfield, so that's even a good fit right there. Green Bay Packers. We saw how they used Ty Montgomery this season, but why not actually get a running back, back there instead of Ty Montgomery? And then Kansas City Chiefs, we've seen what they did with Jamal Charles in the past, and they kind of missed him this year to me in the passing game and even in the running game, so they could seek to upgrade there. When I give him a prospect grade, man, it's high. 89. Very good prospect, man. Possible Pro Bowls, top 10 at his position. Now, it's going to depend on how you view him in terms of if he's top 10 or not. To me, assuming he's healthy and everything, I'm not sure if he's going to be top 10 in rushing yards every year. I'm sure he'll be top 15. But when you combine his rushing yards and his receiving yards, his yards from scrimmage, in terms of ranking in the NFL, it's going to be top 10. And just as a football player, as a running back, I think you're going to view him and say, man, this guy's a top 10 running back in the NFL. Now, it's up to you to determine how valuable that is. To me, that's pretty valuable. We saw what Ezekiel Elliott did this year for the Cowboys, although he was a top 5 running back in terms of his production and play this season. So it's up to NFL teams how they view a top 10 running back, if that's something that they really want. But if I look at the Baltimore Ravens, I didn't list them, but I look at the Ravens and the Redskins in the middle of that first round, man, I'm seriously considering Christian McCaffrey. So to conclude, with good vision, patience, and elite receiving skills, and they are elite, Christian McCaffrey should be an impact player for years to come and could even prove to be a great NFL running back. Guys, I like Christian McCaffrey. And you heard Shannon Sharp say the other day on Undisputed, if Christian McCaffrey was black, that boy would be a top 10 pick. And I think there's something to that, guys, because this guy's talented. He has good vision, good patience, good athleticism. In fact, he was more athletic than Leonard Fournette and Dalvin Cook at the Combine. So with that vision, with that patience, I mean, there are issues there, again, with his size and his strength and his pass protection. But, I mean, he's not that far off from Dalvin Cook and Leonard Fournette. He's not far off at all. I really like Christian McCaffrey, and I think he's going to be an impact player for years to come. So there you go. That is my scouting report on running back Christian McCaffrey out of Stanford. What are your thoughts on this? Comment down below. I want to know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and most importantly, to subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.